You are listening to the Beaverton, North America's trusted source of news.
This week on the Beaverton, Prime Minister Mark Carney unveils his new cabinet, who are definitely not just Trudeau's cabinet with all the name tags switched. Papal smoke signals woke pope who stokes hope while online folks joke and mega mopes. 2025 has found its song of the summer, and it's Justin Timberlake's I'm Bringing Measles Back. Every listener to our podcast gets one free conspiracy theory at no extra charge. It's the Beaverton Weekly Report for May 14th, 2025. Hello, I'm Ian MacIntyre here, filling in for our regular host, Luke Gordon-Field, who is still massively jet-lagged from flying to Qatar to bribe Donald Trump with a $400 million plane. With us this week are two of our all-star panelists who are absolutely furious they did not get chosen for Mark Carney's new cabinet. It's Clare Blackwood and Nile Séguin.
I'm more upset that I wasn't gifted a $400 million jet.
Especially because you know Luke personally. He could have given it.
He's just giving those away.
My cat eats expensive food.
I actually was chosen for the cabinet. I was like, but I got a podcast recording. I can't.
Oh, fair. Okay.
That's true.
Definitely more important.
Priorities.
Yeah.
Like Minister of Agriculture or something like that?
Sure, I wasn't paying attention.
All right, fair enough.
Something like that. Involved stuff.
We are also joined this week by a very, very special guest. We have with us the co-host of I Hate It, But I Love It, amazing podcast here on the From Superheroes Network. It is our good friend of the podcast, Kat Angus.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here, Kat.
I can't wait to bring funniest girl at the office energy to this whole thing.
Funniest girl in the office is going to be our MVP.
Don't you mostly work from home?
It's easy to win.
Excellent. I also have funniest
I had a
girl at
rough
the office.
November, but it was fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, in that case, then we'll make it a fun time here for you. Thanks for being here, bud. All right. So our first topic this week, Canadian politics. They still keep going after the election, apparently.
What?
We're still doing this. And today, Mark Carney, Prime Minister, announced his new cabinet. Did everyone get any sleep last night waiting to find out?
Oh, but it was up till 5 a.m.
My fantasy cabinet picking session went on for hours.
Your bracket is extensive.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, no, it's all anyone's been talking about. The kids on the playgrounds can't stop going on about Mark Carney's new cabinet. This is his second cabinet, technically, because he announced one for like 5 minutes before they called an election.
Yeah, that's true.
How much would it suck to get chosen for that first cabinet and not for the second cabinet?
Yeah, what did you do?
I wish I was a smarter guy, because I know that happened with a few people. I can't remember the names, but it definitely occurred.
It's like,
Yeah,
Mark
especially-
met you and just changed.
Especially if you weren't just brought over from Trudeau's cabinet, especially if you were like a fully new cabinet member, and he was like, actually, it's not going to work out.
But I only did the job for 3 days.
Yeah, we know.
It's a personality mismatch. Yeah. Not a cultural fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're all liberals. I just won an election. It doesn't matter.
It's a vibe thing.
Just who does he not want to run into at like the coffee machine?
Yeah.
It's a very, very capable and successful MP. It's just he's a bummer to be around. It's just like, I don't want to have to make small talk with
Just
him
an
every time
emotional
I run into
vampire.
him. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, just sit on the back bench, please. So apparently Carney's cabinet right now has 28 ministers and 10 secretaries of state. Apparently we have those, even though we don't
What?
have states.
So,
We have provinces. It's weird. Apparently Trudeau's last cabinet had 39 when they were sworn in, so he keeps saying that this is a lean focused. He kept saying it's a hinge cabinet, which makes it sound like a bunch of people he met on a dating app.
Yes. I would love that. Think of the drama. Think of the messes. The first polyamorous cabinet in history.
except for kings.
Well, that's true.
I would get an OK Cupid cabinet, no problem.
You wouldn't trust a hinge one, though.
No, Friendster, maybe.
Friendster.
And think of the Tinder.
Not a Tinder. No, Tinder would be just the sketchiest cabinet.
Actually, no, I think
like,
Plenty
oh.
of Fish would be the sketchiest cabinet.
Oh, yeah, that's close.
Yeah. Tinder would just be a bunch of fuckboys.
As opposed to the current cabinet, and they're all cool.
Oh, well, a lot of them are too old to be fuckboys. So.
Oh, you're never too old.
They're gentlemen.
Fuck gentlemen.
Fuck sirs.
They're fuck elders of
Fuck
state.
governors.
Fuck governor.
I nod along to this. I've never used a dating app in my life. I have no idea what they're like.
Congratulations, Ian. Way to brag about your successful relationship. God.
I met my wife in person, the old-fashioned way.
Holy
Oh my God, here we
shit.
go.
In my day, we
Next
would-
you'll tell us you're still happy together.
Tell us.
Yes, we still go for walks. I don't know why I'm doing that voice. Anyway, speaking
You're
of...
not doing a voice. That's your voice.
No, that doesn't matter. No, this is the voice I'm doing. That old-timey voice, that's my real voice, for sure. So, in the cabinet, one notable name that everyone kept noticing is that Chrystia Freeland is still around.
Yes, not surprised, but what I'm sad about, because she's internal trade now.
Yes.
But what I wanted her to be international trade because Trump just hates her. And I don't you know what I mean? I have my thoughts about Chrystia Freeland, but
Sure.
Trump would just have to deal with her all the time. And I just wanted that for us and for him. And I'm sad that it's not going to happen.
Oh, it would be so satisfying to
Yes.
watch, but then I feel like nothing would actually get done because he'd be too busy talking about how her cankles look bad, that nothing would happen. And I imagine that Mark Carney was just like, look, I would love to see you just hand his ass to him over and over again as well. But as we've seen, that actually gets nothing done. So we have to
true.
put someone in this position that might get through to him.
But
That's how you know what a good job she did last time, because Trump still won't shut up about it.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
forgotten her name because he keeps saying it's that woman who was very mean
He's
to me.
forgotten her name. I'm using air quotes.
Sure,
I forget
sure,
that it's a podcast. He totally.
That's a toss-up.
No, he doesn't. No,
I don't know how aware he is of anything. But wouldn't it? Wait, isn't there also the outside chance that he would be so annoyed with her that he would end the trade war? Just be like, fine, fuck it, you guys take it.
That's what I'm saying.
I cannot.
How dare you
was
make
gonna
me
do-
speak to a
Take
woman over
another
the age of
meeting with
30?
this person. Yeah.
Oh, I really would love to live in a world where Donald Trump gets so frustrated that he quits stuff.
Yeah.
That's never happened.
I've been waiting for that for like 10 years now.
I've been waiting for him to just call quits on just being alive, and that's going on
Yeah.
for a while.
Stubbornly clinging to it.
Yeah.
Apparently Carney probably couldn't say no to her because he is also the godfather of her son, which I think we mentioned last week.
Yep.
So that would have been awkward if he'd completely gotten her out of the cabinet.
I wonder what if it was like about Donald Trump just talking shit about her to Mark Carney and him just being like,
I owe you one.
yeah, she's all right.
Yeah, I didn't punch him in the nose last week when he shit talked you in front of all those journalists. So here, your cabinet or Minister of Internal Trade.
Yeah.
But she's also Minister of Transport, too, I should mention. Apparently, she'll be getting the proposed high-speed rail from Quebec to Ontario to exist. That'll happen, right?
Eventually.
Yeah.
I think so.
I mean, we all saw how good Toronto's LRT rail has gone.
Oh.
And that's just one city.
I'm not saying it's going to happen fast, but it's going to happen.
No, yeah, no, you know what?
know,
I agree. I
there
think
will come a day when we'll be like, remember when we didn't think this was going to happen?
Yeah. It'll be in the last vestiges of the nuclear war, and we will finally be making this high-speed transit.
Oh, I remember when Chrystia Freeland promised to do that. We'll all sound like that by then. For those of you outside of Toronto, the Eglinton LRT is a fun local joke around here because it's been a train line we were supposed to have a decade ago and still doesn't exist.
Yeah,
No.
and every 6 months or so they go, massive update, not happening this year, bitch, and they just do that every year.
So I have good hopes for this.
Yeah.
We also, the person who will be in charge of dealing with Trump is Dominic LeBlanc. He has been named, this title is great, he's president of the King's Privy Council for Canada and minister responsible for Canada-U.S. trade, intergovernmental affairs, and the one Canadian economy.
Well, that's not dissimilar to what he was in Trudeau's cabinet, wasn't it? Like, didn't he have 3 or 4 positions that Trudeau just kept giving him?
They kept calling him the minister of everything,
Yeah.
like the room of requirement in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Equally problematic, too.
Yes.
No,
It's a real, first of his name, Mother of Dragons.
Yeah, when he goes into a room, you have to announce his full title. Yeah, so he'll be doing that. Do you think he'll have any better luck dealing with Trump? Just by being man-shaped?
I mean, if he does, luck will be the operative word. Like, someone's going to get him at some point. He's going to slip because he's just crazy.
That's true. That's true. I do think, though, like, just the fact that he's like, it was a woman before, it's a man now, I won. I think that's what would be Trump's takeaway.
Yeah.
Well, and also I think just the fact that one of his titles has king in it will really just like, Trump will be like, oh yeah, this is good. I'm now
Privy
hanging out with the
Council.
right caliber of person.
That's all you gotta do is throw in some random royalty. Emperor, king.
Yeah, just Trump wants to associate with people he determines to be like high society or the elites, and you have king in your title of some kind, then Trump's gonna love that.
I think you could start every meeting with Donald Trump just by saying something like, you know what would be great before your name, sir? Emperor, or something like that. Just like Emperor Donald Trump, and immediately he's on your side. Mm-hmm. You could ask him anything.
I think you've really cracked this. I think Dominic LeBlanc could show up for one of these meetings wearing like a Burger King crown, and Trump would be like, finally, I'm talking to the guy in charge.
Honestly, nobody's tried it yet.
I do think there's something to, I don't know, this is going to be a sidebar. We could just leave it on the editing floor, the cutting room floor. But it's like, I read somewhere, because I was working with this horrible narcissist. It was Ian.
You're welcome.
And I read that like narcissists need something called narcissistic supply. Like they do not feel good about themselves, so they need reference points to say,
Right.
"Oh, I'm doing well." So the whole first of his name, I'm king, whatever, works because it's like, look, I'm talking with this guy. I'm negotiating with a king person.
Well, he
100%. Yeah, just throw in random royalty on your name.
It's the reason why he's besties with Putin. He's always talking about how he's in love with dictators, how he's best friends with Matt, like all that kind of stuff.
No, it's absolutely correct.
You're absolutely right.
We just need more titles, guys.
Yeah.
Who's the minister of titles? Who's got
I think that was the one that you turned down, actually.
Oh, no.
The minister of the king's cabinet of titles.
Emperor. It's supposed to be you, man. But you're here doing this. Another person of note who's in this cabinet, Toronto MP Evan Solomon. You remember, fired from CBC's Power and Politics 15 years ago?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, we all remember that.
I strangely remember that. Is he minister of art dealings?
No.
That's what he got fired for.
That's the thing. He's the Minister of Artificial Intelligence and Digital Innovation, which, sure, that makes sense. But yes, he was fired from CBC because he was secretly brokering the sale of paintings to politicians, including Mark Carney.
Oh, man.
Christ. Why would you give the Conservatives a floater over the plate like that? Are you kidding me? Why?
How long does quid pro quo last for?
At least a decade, apparently. Like, why are all of our little scandals in Canada so useless and so dumb?
It's so cute. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
I mean, if America had like a 15-year wait between like the inciting incident and when the person got paid off, I'd be like, I admire their restraint, honestly.
They don't have the attention span for that down there. For that kind of payoff? No.
They don't have the attention span, and they have a lot of guns. I think that's why our conspiracy theories are much more quaint.
They're the kid who eats the marshmallow right away, and Mark Carney has the 2 marshmallows waiting for 15 years before that other guy comes
He's
back.
been generating compound interest on those marshmallows the whole time.
There's way more than 2 marshmallows at this point.
He's built some s'mores and stuff.
And he will never eat the marshmallows. It's
No,
all
no.
about the compound interest. That's where he gets his dopamine. Look at this marshmallow statement. Look at this.
Like, those have gone very stale, sir. You should have eaten those marshmallows. Yeah, no. So we got Evan Solomon in the party. And who else we got here? Oh, yes. Sean Fraser is
He's back.
He's
Guess
back.
who's back again. I mean, I don't know. He seemed like a decent guy, and I enjoyed how much he got under Poilievre's skin. So I'm kind of happy he's back.
That's the thing. It really depends on who you ask as to whether or not
Yes.
people thought he seemed like a decent guy.
Yes, that's true.
They really hate him. I did hear Poilievre blaming him for starting the housing crisis, even though he is younger than me and was housing minister for like 10 months.
Oh, that makes sense.
He made it worse for sure.
I mean, Luke destroyed democracy when he was in his 20s, so yeah,
right.
it's very
That's true.
possible.
This is the thing we
Live your
established on the
dreams.
first episode.
Yeah.
I mean, a thing that Luke confessed to, I think.
But then he got a $400 million plane and gave that to Trump, and now he's good.
Exactly.
Luke does all his shady dealings in Europe.
Now.
He would.
He is that type.
There's also, I was listening to my friend, he's like a Montreal journalist, his name is Isaac Peltz, and he was talking about how the new housing minister, Gregor Robinson, he was Vancouver's mayor for like 10 years, I think 2008 and 2018, and my friend was talking, and he's like, under him, the housing prices doubled. Like it literally went from I think $750,000 for a detached house to $1.5 million to a detached house. And obviously it's a multi-pronged thing. But he was like, why would you make this man housing minister when housing prices doubled
Because
under
if it
him?
hadn't been for him, they would have quintupled.
Oh,
That's
you
the
got
pitch.
me there.
That's the pitch.
You got me there.
I mean, as someone who appreciates that Mark Carney is like the adult in the room and really feels like the one who could like at least kind of protect us from what's going on down south. It's also important not to forget that like he is like a centrist.
At best.
Generously speaking.
At best.
That's
And
really
he's not even really a centrist. He's pretty right wing, but he's just not crazy, and that makes him a liberal in Canada.
Yeah, he thinks the environment exists.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
How dare he?
I know.
Yeah, that's really sinking in this week, isn't
Yeah.
it? Just Mark Carney. Oh, yeah, he's not the kick-ass progressive guy we maybe wanted to pretend for 5 minutes.
Left-wing hero Mark Carney used to run the Bank of Canada.
He's the guy that you hired off of Craigslist, and you are not looking too deep into his resume. You are
Canada
not
loves-
calling his references.
Canada loves hiring pinkos to run the bank.
It's like it's like at the end of Scooby-Doo if they ripped the mask off the banker to reveal a banker underneath. It's like, oh, all along he was the
richer
thing
banker.
he looked like. Yeah. Well, speaking of people who aren't happy with things right now, Polyev got to give his response to the speech. I don't know if you guys ended up listening to this. I listened to it in French and in English. I didn't understand the first one. So Polyev came out. It was very conciliatory at first. He was like, the election didn't go the way that we'd hoped. We were going to try and reach across the aisle. We hope
work
they make
together.
good decisions and work together. And then he immediately went back into his comfort zone and did like a tight 10 of low-key roast jokes about how bad every single minister was.
Which is just infuriating because I'm like, dude, you're not the leader of the Conservative Party right now.
You're not the leader of anything.
You're not the leader
You
of
lost your
anything.
seat.
This is a man on the street interview. This is a streeter.
This is old man yells at clouds.
Yeah.
Like, yes, put Andrew Scheer in there, fine. He technically has a right to talk about it. But, like, I don't know if you guys, I read this article somewhere last night where it was basically, they're not going to make him move. It was Andrew Scheer basically saying, I'm not going to, Polyev doesn't have to move out of Stornoway.
Yeah.
He's going to be there in a couple months. He shouldn't be. He's going to live there essentially rent-free for a couple months because, it's too much hassle to get him out and then inevitably get him back in. And I'm like, the smug confidence of these assholes in saying that, like he's already won. I mean, yes, of course he has. But, like, he hasn't, though. He hasn't won. He doesn't have a job right now.
I was hoping you were going to say the article is going to be like they were going to be roomies or he's going to charge them rent.
Can you imagine?
He doesn't have to
Perfect
move.
stranger situation.
Except they're both cousin Larry. Neither of them is the fun Balky.
Everyone's the wet blanket.
Just both of them finding reasons to not do hijinks. I will hand it to Polyev. The one line that he had was Sean Fraser for all the portfolios he said. He called him Minister of Failing Upward. And I was like, okay,
Yeah,
that's
pretty good.
I remember
kinda
that,
funny.
and I was like, look who is talking.
Yeah.
Stones, the temerity to be like, look at this guy failing upwards. Anyways, I'm going to be leader of the opposition in a few weeks.
Also has never really had a normal
never had a
job.
not once.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
No. And then, of course, Polyev ruined it by laughing at all of his own jokes the whole time. Because how it's funny, right?
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that myself, so I sort of empathize with like sort of laughing, being like, I will be laughing along with everybody else laughing, right? And then realizing that's not what's happening.
Well, wait, are you doing it because you enjoy the joke or because you're bombing?
Both.
Oh, twist. Well, you could be leader of the opposition.
Am I so unfunny? No, it's the people who are wrong.
Well, I laugh at all of my own
Always blame the
jokes.
people.
I laugh at all of my own jokes on the podcast, so you're in the right place. And the only other thing I wrote down was Polyev immediately compared himself to Abraham Lincoln, which way to
I
distance
missed
yourself
that
from the
part.
states.
I'm sorry, what?
With one notable difference that could be rectified depending on who wants to step up. I didn't say
Are you
anything
talking about the
specific.
beard?
I feel like Poilievre already has a beard.
Depending on who wants to see it.
Poilievre, he likes the theater, right?
Oh my God.
Who is our
saying.
John Wilkes Booth?
Okay, where am I legally on this? Am I going to be a co-conspirator?
We're not saying anything. I'm just wondering if he likes the theater.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Luke's real mad he's not at this recording right now.
He's across town right now.
I
Like,
wish
something's
you
wrong.
guys
I have to
could
go
have seen
back.
Nile's face. It was horror incarnate. It was like,
podcast-
do I need to leave the room right now?
I didn't know that. That's what that's the game we were playing. Okay, all right.
This podcast is now Exhibit A. Good thing we're recording all of it. Anyway, Elections Canada is doing some recounts this week, just on the electoral note. 4 very close ridings. Apparently this happens when the vote, a candidate wins by less than 0.1% of the overall vote, or if some candidate is a real wiener and requests a recount, then they'll do a recount. Apparently in the Quebec riding of Terrebonne, after several recounts, Liberal MP Tatiana Auguste, I pronounced that totally wrong, she was declared the winner by just 1 vote. How calmly do you think Quebec is taking this?
I think if you have to ask the question, how calmly do you think Quebec is taking this, you've already lost. You're like, we already know the answer to this.
You know those pain charts in the doctor's office?
It's 1 to Quebec.
Sorry, that tickled me a great deal.
That was a nice slow burn.
That makes up for the time that you laughed at my joke and you didn't think it was funny. Remember that?
Oh, when I told you point blank to your face? Yeah, I still regret that.
I'm glad that you are both still dwelling on it.
Like weeks later.
You're synced up.
Cool, I'd almost let that go, Claire. Thanks. So yeah, apparently she beat the candidate who was favored, who was a Bloc Québécois candidate. Apparently one voter in the riding had sent in a mail-in ballot for the Bloc, and it got rejected and sent back to them.
Uh-oh.
So it's possible that would have tipped the scales entirely.
Wait,
Would that make it
not
just
have
a
been
tie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they have
Actually,
to fight.
good point. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess just a tie, yeah. Oh,
I think it's
idea that they
a
have to
coin
fight.
toss, right? It's either
yeah,
a
we
fight or a
breezed
coin
past
toss.
that. No, fight, definitely.
Yeah,
Trial by
like a
combat.
Survivor style, like mud battle, except it's maple syrup or something like
I think
that.
I don't know about you guys, but I think the electorate would enjoy watching them earn something for once.
Yeah.
Just fucking get
Yeah,
in there. How bad
get
did
in
you
there.
want
I
it?
think they should do what Survivor does whenever there's a tie, which is that then those 2 people
They
have
fire.
immunity and
Oh.
everybody else who voted has to pull a stone, and whoever pulls like an orange stone has to go home.
So wait, like one of the voters
Yeah,
has
one
to
of the
move?
voters has to move.
What if they're at home when they pull the stone?
Yeah, you're not
gotta go
allowed to
home.
speak French anymore.
Or
You
you have
gotta
to move
go.
out of Quebec.
I mean, I like it. It's still urgent. I'm just saying we got to work out some things.
I'm just saying
We'll
it
workshop it.
incentivizes the voters to pick one person.
I love the sound of this.
I also love how this completely negates the common phrase of like, oh, my vote doesn't count. I'm not going to vote because my vote doesn't count. I'm like, well, look at this.
There you go.
Your vote
look at
counter's a
this.
bunch.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's not very often that happens. Right?
it doesn't matter. I feel like it does.
Listen, I'm not saying, hey, I voted, but I wasn't like, phew. I just, I was like, now I can bitch.
The real reason
It
for all of
does
us
give
to
you
do
the
it.
right to complain.
Yes.
Yeah.
So speaking of complaining, the Conservatives are up in arms. They sent out a fundraising email this week accusing Liberals with all the recounts of trying to, quote, tip the scales. They said the Liberals are working to flip just enough seats to edge closer to a majority. They love talking about edging. We can't let that happen. If we don't act fast, we risk losing the gains we made on election night. So this kind of talk always ends well, right?
It's like, do they understand how that sounds? Like, ooh,
Oh, I think they understand very well.
They're trying to take over the government by counting the votes correctly.
I think sadly they know how that sounds and
Yeah.
they know who they know the room.
faces.
They know
Yeah.
the room they're
Yeah.
playing
Yeah,
to.
they know exactly how the voter base would react to such talk,
Yeah.
and they don't
Yeah.
really care about anything.
It drives
else.
me nuts. Like, look, there's so many unemployed writers in Canada. Just hire one to write your conspiracy theories.
Honestly.
Like, I'm available. I'll do it.
We
I will-
workshopped like
I wanna
4
ma-
the other week.
Yeah, like, because there's just, what's the plot?
Yeah.
What is the...
Yeah.
So Carney went to Elections Canada and was like, look, I want you to give me one riding and like give me a minority government. You don't want a majority? No, I want a minority. Otherwise, people will be suspicious. That makes no sense.
But I want it to be
crazy.
so close that it maybe
super close.
could be a majority.
I want some of the recounts to go conservative. Why? Because.
I want a margin so narrow that nobody will believe it.
Because I like a challenge. I want to win, but not all the way. What plot is this?
I ran the Bank of Canada.
It's exactly how I ran the Bank of Canada. When I was doing bookkeeping, I always made sure I was $10 short.
But marshmallows, I'm rolling.
Marshmallows, oh, check it out. It's now a large parchment that started in the 80s.
These things are rocks.
He's one of those guys who would like start one of those like rubber band balls that slowly over decades gets huge.
That would be his hobby. He has the vibe of a man who collects rubber bands.
Yes, absolutely. I like that in a prime minister, though.
And like builds planes, like little model planes.
yes.
I feel like
Yep.
he could be a model plane guy.
Oh, strong model plane energy.
I was thinking ship in a bottle.
I was just about to
Ship in a bottle.
No, you know
lot
what he
of books
does?
on war.
No, he has one of those like
train
sets in his basement,
yeah.
and he builds the town. And
Right.
every like week, he goes to the specialty store and comes back with like, I got like a farrier.
So what we're saying is he's really into transit just in general.
There's the through line.
Yeah.
Puts out transit vibes.
Well, tell you what, speaking of transportation, let's take a trip around the world. For our next segment, we're going to do a bit of a world news roundup because I couldn't come up with a total segment.
Been there.
You're seeing how the sausage gets made, guys.
Oh, I'll just tell you about it the whole time to fill time. So we're going to start off in the Vatican, where you may have heard in the past week that a new pope has been announced. We got Pope Leo, wait, I didn't read this first, the 14th? XIV,
Yes.
14,
Yes.
right? Yeah. Or as people online are already calling him, Chicago Pope.
The Pope.
As Claire has alluded to, the internet immediately made no less than 1 billion jokes about the Pope being from Chicago.
As well they should.
It was wonderful.
Deep dish Pope, love him.
Oh,
It felt
yeah.
like old school Twitter.
Right?
And it was lovely. It was lovely.
Do you remember when the young Pope came out and everyone made jokes about the young Pope?
I forgot
There was a
about the
young
young
Pope?
Pope.
No, it was a show called
Yes.
The Young
Oh,
Pope.
Jesus. All right.
And so there was a lot of, and he like smoked and was cool, I guess.
Still didn't believe in gay marriage, but he smoked.
And there were a lot of jokes about it, and this kind of brought me back to when Twitter didn't suck so much.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The name the young Pope just makes me picture a teenage Pope. Like
I mean, it
getting
was-
a boner under his robes or something.
Not
Gen
too far
Z
from actual
Pope.
popes. Right?
Enough, yeah. Wait, has the Catholic Church had problems with that?
No. Well, they haven't had problems. I mean, we have.
It's everyone else.
fine.
Yeah.
But they've been fine.
Gotcha. A lot of the internet, also the right wing part of the internet, really freaked out about Pope Leo. Professional maniac Laura Loomer. My Pages app here autocorrected it to Laura Boomer, which
that
I
makes
don't know if
sense.
that's accurate or not. Laura Loomer described him as the woke Marxist Pope.
And she put
Love it.
this was actually my favorite joke of the entire, like Twitter escapade of jokes about him, which was because she wrote woke Marxist Pope in all capital letters. And then it wasn't a unique joke. Like a lot of people made the joke, but somebody was just like, to the lyrics of Pink Pony Club. Woke Marxist Pope. I'm going to keep on voting for the praying to the vote.
Love it.
Right?
Either way.
So good.
Oh my God.
Yeah, woke Marxist Pope makes Catholicism sound so much cooler than
Yeah.
it actually is.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, even the most liberal of popes
No.
is still a Catholic.
As the Beaverton's resident cranky ex-Catholic, I can assure you it's not cool to be Catholic.
No one in the Catholic Church has been woke Marxist since like Jesus Christ. So like there was him, and then after that
they
went
let
pretty
that guy
hard right.
get crucified.
He got God.
They could have stopped it, and they were like, let's get this guy out of
I
here.
mean, my favorite thing is seeing people who, like, apparently are not aware that the Pope has, like, uncontested power within like Catholicism, and they're like, what, so he can just do what he says? And everyone's like, you might want to think about being a Protestant if you have a problem with this part of Catholicism.
I was one of the, I'm 100%, I've been faking the entire time. I am one of these people. I'm like, I heard about it, I'm like, what does he do? What is it? How is this bigger than the Dallas Mavericks winning the lottery?
I love that
Someone explain how this affects my life more.
I love that the people you're describing are inventing the Reformation for themselves.
They're like nailing things to the front door of the church.
Like, I don't think this Pope should have all this power, and I'm the first person to think it.
They can't burn me, right?
Not unless you're on the Vatican grounds. Then they can burn anything they want.
Oh, no.
But seriously, I started looking at this. So, woke Marxist Pope. Apparently, he's anti-climate change, which I guess makes him, by their reckoning, like a far left radical.
Right.
Because he admits that he also, he's a
Wait,
big...
so he believes in it,
I
but
was thinking the same thing.
or he doesn't believe in it?
No,
He's against the climate
believes
change.
in
He believes in it, but wants to stop
Okay.
it.
Worth
Okay.
clarifying, you are correct.
Yeah.
Because for a minute I was like, are we on the side of
I know.
not believing in climate
Suddenly,
change?
Kat
Welcome to
realized
our weird
she was on the
podcast.
wrong podcast. Anyways.
I promised conspiracy theories. And oh boy, are we getting into it? So he's anti-climate change. He is a strong advocate for the rights of migrants and refugees. That's all pretty good.
Sure.
He's sort of pro-women, except
that's nice.
not to the point of ordaining them. This is where it gets less fun.
He's pro in that he's not anti.
Yeah.
That's the way that works in the Catholic
Which is a
Church.
Catholic pro.
It's a Catholic.
My whole thing with
bar.
ordaining women or anybody who wants to be ordained, I think if you want to be ordained, you should be able to. But also, why do you want to? Why do you want to be a part of this?
We should be talking people out of it.
If anything, let's start our own religion. That goes well all the time.
Yeah, we need more schisms, for sure. Apparently, he also is pretty wishy-washy on LGBTQ rights, and he doesn't want schools to be, quote, promoting gender ideology.
I read that he was, and I love this. I don't love it. It actually fills me with rage. But I didn't know that these clubs existed. He was a member of his university's anti-abortion club.
Party time.
Yeah, they
Why
make
don't-
whole clubs about that in university. Did you know? I should have assumed, but I didn't.
I assume it was like Animal House down there, just partying all the time.
Oh yeah.
To stop abortions from happening.
What a fun guy.
And he covered up a
they
lot of
do?
sex abuse in the church. So there's that.
There is that.
Hey, but at the end of the day, he's in a Twitter beef with JD Vance, so he's not all bad.
The more people who hate JD Vance, the better.
For sure, yeah. And I also think JD Vance, I'm sure you guys have talked about this already, but flying all the way to talk to the Pope, getting rejected to talk to the Pope just to be lectured, and then meeting the Pope to be lectured by the Pope, and then he dies. God, I know he's not, but I hope he's having some kind of existential crisis about this.
He's going to be flying to the next Pope right now, being like, time to finish this job.
Or, you'll like me, won't you?
Yeah, like I demand to speak to the Pope's manager, you,
Yeah.
the new Pope.
Is he smart enough for that to land? I wish he was. Like if he realized, oh my God, this guy used some of the few last moments on Earth to just shit talk me to my face. Do you think he gets it? Like, do you think he
No.
understands the implication?
I don't know. I've never been able to understand JD Vance's conscience or if he has one.
He doesn't understand his conscience either, and he does not have one. I mean, the whole reason he became Catholic, like as a convert later in life, was because Peter Thiel pays for everything that he does, and Peter Thiel's a psychotic Catholic. And he was like, okay, I guess I am too now.
Yeah, I'm sure that like any Pope or Pope lackey who tells JD Vance that they don't like
They're
him,
called priests.
whatever.
No. Pope Lackey.
Pope lackey.
Pope Lackey is my new term.
It's what they deserve.
I have never been to church in my life.
Fair.
But I imagine that JD Vance like probably like had a moment of like, well, the Pope said I'm doing it wrong. And then he goes, and he probably thought, no, I answer to a higher authority, God himself, and I know that God
Oh,
supports
I thought
me.
you were going to say Donald Trump.
I was really worried about
Well,
that too, yes.
I'm sure that he thinks
difference.
that God supports Donald Trump.
Imagine thinking such a thing. Anyway, so we're going to get out of the Vatican now. We're going to move on over to Turkey, where Ukraine President Zelensky is daring Russian President Putin to meet him for negotiations on Thursday. Apparently, this all started. The European leaders, they got together. They demanded a ceasefire. Putin was like, well, then if we're going to do that, we should have first Ukraine, Russia. That's what he sounds like.
Great Putin. It's like
Yeah.
he's in the room.
Like he's in the room. We should have the first talks since 2022. And he kind of said it rhetorically. And then Zelensky was immediately like, I'll be there on Thursday. Let's do this shit. And unfortunately, before Putin could say, I meant it rhetorically, Trump jumped in. And what did he say? He said, President Putin of Russia doesn't want to have a ceasefire agreement with Ukraine, but rather wants to meet on Thursday in Turkey to negotiate a possible end to the bloodbath. Ukraine should agree to this immediately. So Trump got turned around and thought it was Zelensky who didn't want it.
Oh,
Amazing.
God.
He's getting poisoned. You know, he's getting poisoned.
I
tomorrow.
know. I was like, my immediate thought was just full on Admiral Akbar in my head. It's a trap. Like, do not.
I mean, I love every like gaffe that Trump makes. It's just I wish that there was any kind of consequence for any of them.
He's an extremely funny person, and it would be so funny if he weren't the leader of the free world.
If he was any other position on the planet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now that would be pretty amusing.
But what I really liked about the whole Zelensky thing, I don't know about you guys, the whole Zelensky thing about him being like, yes, Thursday, let's go, let's talk about this, like, I hope you show up. It gave me a real, like, Zuckerberg, Elon, MMA fight kind of vibes. Where Elon was like, yeah, I'll fight him. And Mark was just like, cool, how's Friday at 2 in my house? And Elon just never showed up.
I don't know who I want to win that fight.
Oh, Mark.
I mean, I guess.
I mean,
don't
it's
know.
evil versus evil, but like, I want to see Elon.
No,
get his
you're
ass
right.
kicked.
What am I talking about? You're right. You'd want to see him go down in that fight.
Yeah.
Especially because Mark Zuckerberg is totally that wiener who he's like, all of the other guys are talking about MMA. I am going to devote 80 hours a week to getting to be the best at this. And then all the rest of them
Am I a normal boy yet?
Yeah. I also love Zuckerberg bragging about how the average person has only 3 friends.
Oh my God, I know. And then the rest of our friends are going to be AI or something like that. in the future.
Yeah.
I just kind of want to be like, oh, buddy.
That just makes me think that he's like so glad for it, where he's like, I can't believe I've had to like keep up 3 friends all this time, and now I don't have to do that anymore.
I think it's more hopeful. Like someday I'm going to get 2 more.
I'm still waiting on the extra 2.
Not just my wife.
And she's like, I'm busy tonight.
She's surely with him because she loves him so much. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, did you see those pictures of him windsurfing? Come on, that babe magnet?
I was wetter than the ocean that day.
Oh.
Weren't we all?
Fair. I was
We need
all
to
in
put
it.
you in a room with Meg.
Fuck, I forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah, I'm bailing out of this now.
Knocked the idea right out of my head. Just
Love
drop
it.
kicked it.
I think we were in Turkey, and I'm getting out of Turkey. We're heading to Qatar. We're heading to Qatar, where obviously everyone can't stop talking about the Qatari government. They have promised Trump a $400 million Sky Fortress, or Sky Palace, sorry, Fortress Palace, same thing, to serve as the new Air Force One. Which Trump would get to keep after he leaves office. So, turbo bribe? What even is this anymore?
I know that rules don't apply to this administration, even though they should, but like, how does Qatar get to set the rule that like, and after you're not president, you can keep it? And like, that doesn't seem like that you should be able to tell him that he gets to keep it
Because
afterwards.
Congress has to approve the gift. He can't just take
Sure
it.
they do.
Oh, no. I'm aware. I say this.
Claire, you're living in 2023.
Oh my
what
God,
are you doing?
I know.
Not even so
I'm
smart.
trying
Join
to
us here in the film.
manifest this. I'm trying to manifest things
No, you
into
gotta
law.
let it go. You gotta let it go. This is where we are now. This is.
fine.
They didn't even have to like backdoor the offer. That's where we are. How do we know about this?
Yeah. Oh, because he was just like, it's not corruption if I'm just telling you about it.
Oh my God.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they did backdoor it.
Well, apparently, too, speaking of approving it, Trump's attorney general, Pam Bondi, who used to be like his personal lawyer, she approved this thing. She was like, no, it's definitely not illegal. Also, by the way, I used to be a lobbyist for the Qatari government, like until a year ago.
Can I why don't we just line up at the trough? Why don't we just do it? We got money.
It seems
why
easy,
Why
right?
doesn't like Carney just do like a fucking closed door meeting, sell him his bonds back? Let's just do it. Let's just peel the Band-Aid. It's not dignified, but we avoid a recession. This guy can fuck off. Just go harass Japan. No disrespect, Japan. I just picked a random country.
We have a lot of Japanese listeners. I am just picturing Mark Carney at the model train table in his basement, just like pinching the bridge of his nose, being like, it would be so much easier to bribe him.
Let's do it. Let's do it. No one. Who's going to be upset at that?
Yeah, like you can have.
He could come out and say it, and he would get a majority at the next election.
I feel like most of Canada would be like, yeah, Mark Carney should bribe Trump.
1,000%.
If Mark Carney wants to bribe Trump, he probably has a really good reason.
Yeah. And if there was like on your tax forms, it was like, would you like to contribute your return to bribing Trump? Hell yeah!
It's just a census.
We would get so much tax revenue.
We could just give him PEI.
No, give him Alberta.
No.
He wants Alberta.
He wants that too much.
See, but this is what I'm thinking. Like, but that's like a double win because we give him Alberta. It's an example for the rest of the provinces. The next time someone starts chirping about separating, see what happened to Alberta? Look at them.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
Double win.
That's what I'm saying.
I solve problems.
Mark Carney, please call Nile Séguin.
I should have been part of the cabinet.
I
I can't
know.
believe I walked away.
You shouldn't have
I
gone.
wanted to be Minister of Bribes, but he's like, that's not a thing. I'm like, okay, whatever.
You should have bribed him to
I
let you
should
do it.
have bribed him.
Thanks for listening, everybody. If you're out there, maybe on your podcast app of choice, you could leave a review for us if you like. 5 stars, please. You could tell a friend. You could post on social media. You could share our video clips when we put on there. You could comment to remind me to sit up straight because I never remember to. If you'd like to help us monetarily, we have a Patreon. We're at patreon.com/thebeaverton.
What is happening?
I'm very bad at this, and I'm trying to muddle my way through this. I have to write down a reminder to myself to do it every week, or I will forget.
I meant more like the returning self-punishment about your posture. Like,
Oh, buddy. We talked about the 90s too much, and now I'm back to what I was like in high school, but it was a real problem. What was I doing? Oh, yeah, I was asking you guys for money. On our Patreon, for as little as $4 a month, you get extended episodes of the podcast. You get to hear all of our opinions about the measles outbreak. On this episode, you get discounts on merch. You get free merch. You get exclusive articles. We even have polls and quizzes where we ask people what we should talk about here on the podcast. I should be checking those more often. Please comment on them. And in general, even if you don't want to support the Patreon, even if you don't want to do that, we're just happy you're here. Thank you very much for listening to the podcast. We're getting a visit from Scar, the podcast dog.
Hi, Scar.
a little
Hi,
poke in
Scar.
the ribs, everybody.
What's that, Scar?
Someone needs a bum rub.
People should sign up for our Patreon, Scar?
Robert?
That's what I thought he was going to say. And with that, it is time for us to move on to the approximately 10-minute long quiz.
Woo.
It's the approximately 10-minute long quiz. Brought to you by Time.
All right, it is time for the approximately 10-minute long quiz where I ask you guys questions and it's about 10 minutes long and the points don't really matter. You guys know what a quiz is, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, can you run me through it again?
It's very
The
complicated.
points matter very much.
Okay.
Yep.
And because Scar, the podcast dog, is visiting with us, I am definitely going to be asking him these questions too. Scar, this one's to you first. This week, the federal Conservatives appointed Andrew Scheer as their interim leader. You might remember he was the leader of their party several years ago. What Canadian product was Scheer famous for enjoying during his previous run as the Conservative leader?
Fentanyl.
Homegrown fentanyl?
According to Trump, we're the fentanyl people, right?
That's
That's our
true.
thing.
We do artisanal fentanyl like nobody's business.
Sunday afternoon reruns of Ready or Not.
God.
That is a pull. Oh my God.
That he would tune into when it's like 2/3 of the way through, and so he was not quite sure what's happening, but then he's like, oh, I guess they were in a fight and now they fixed it.
Yeah, Busy and Amanda had a falling out,
Yeah.
and they're going to sort it out by
Yeah.
the end of the episode.
That's very
I think
specific.
Busy was in the wrong this time.
Oh my God. One of my best friends right now, we met in Toronto doing comedy, and I didn't find out for years that he had been in an episode arc of Ready or Not. He played a character named Ernie on it. I think he was a love interest, and I never wanted to know more about his career.
Amazing.
Fantastic. Claire, what
I
do you...
mean, I don't know if I can get better than that. I just thought of Canadian animals, and I was like, well, maybe he enjoyed roasted star-nosed mole.
You Googled that, right? Like,
I Googled famous weird Canadian animals, yes.
I love that you went Canadian animals. You were like goose, 2 on the nose. Beaver, nah.
Moose,
I like that you
no.
added famous to the search.
Thank you, yes, because Andrew Scheer is a weird man.
Very deeply weird.
And have you seen star-nosed moles? They're incredibly weird looking.
Is it what I'm picturing?
It's like with the nose.
Yeah, it's weird looking.
Oh, real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Literally like a 5-pointed star, but it's his nose. It's very creepy.
Like, have you seen the creatures from Mickey 17?
I haven't watched it yet.
Okay. Well, kind of like that,
Okay.
except not as scary.
Our listeners who are more well-versed in current film than me will know exactly what you're talking about, Kat.
We've all seen Mickey 17.
That Robert Pattinson film that's blowing up the box office
Yeah.
and already on VOD, I think.
Yes.
Well, anyway, these are all excellent answers. The real answer that Andrew Scheer was famous for enjoying was milk. Tall, frosty glasses of milk that he would chug at every single campaign stop for some weird reason.
I mean, I come from like a milk drinking family, and so like I can kind of sympathize on that front of like, oh, you would drink milk with like most meals. I could understand that,
Sure.
but every
But
campaign
he would
stop-
like chug it from the carton, wouldn't he?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There's like a famous photo of him doing
So
that.
tell me how that's less weird than eating roasted star-nosed mole.
Oh, I never said it was less
I
weird.
feel like it's slightly less weird.
Yeah.
It's a judgment call.
Also, if he truly wanted to be Canadian, he would chug it out of the bag, not the
that's true.
carton.
Yes, out of our weird Canadian
Just him like
bags.
squishing it into his mouth so that he.
Wait, are you talking about the milk or the star-nosed? just a shredded,
He's just
a blended
alternating.
star-nosed mole.
Like he's got IV drip things holding them up and chugging from either one.
Listeners, which is grosser, doing that with milk or with the roasted star-nosed mole?
That's our next poll
Phone
on
lines
the
are open.
Patreon. We're absolutely going to get to the bottom of this. Okay. Well, speaking of weird leaders, Donald Trump is going to be attending a night of musical theater at the Kennedy Center on June the 11th, but the members of what show have refused to perform for him?
Blue Man Group? Because it should be Orange Man Group?
Oh, that's good.
Womp womp.
And they had to signal it through drums. They
Yeah.
were like, boom, 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 boom. We won't perform.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Blue Man Group, excellent guess.
I think I know the answer, so I'm not gonna.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, we'll
I
get
will
back to you
guess
then.
I don't have anything.
Oh, okay.
I wrote a joke, but it's on my phone. And I
Which is
just like
right in
I
front of
can't
him.
open the
Which is right
phone
in
and
front of
scroll
him.
through.
Okay.
It's just too late. But and you know what it is? It's the punchline wouldn't justify the time. You know, you do comedy. You know, you need a concise setup and then a punchline.
You know we're allowed to like edit these.
Yeah, we'll edit it in later. We'll just take a beat
no,
here.
but your in time reaction
Good-
will be.
good
and at
time,
this point, the setup is way too long.
We'll
it
just
would have
put-
to change your lives.
At this point, I would say
You
you
would have
have to say the punchline in the middle of him telling us the actual answer. That's what you do.
Tell you what we're going to do. We're all just going to laugh real hard like the
Okay.
joke was amazing, and then we'll edit in you saying it later on.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Niall, amazing.
Oh
Thank you.
my gosh, you just came up with that?
Yeah,
so
you know,
good.
it's what I do.
Oh, my God. Well,
My answer was B44.
Claire, why don't you take it away with the real answer?
I think it's Hamilton.
Oh, you're so close. It's not quite. It's French Hamilton, a.k.a. Les Miserables.
Oh, because Hamilton also did refuse to play the Kennedy Center. Maybe it was a couple months ago.
I think that was a different one. This is like coming up specifically. Like,
Hamilton. I was like, are we not going to acknowledge that? That's great.
it's long coats and wigs and stuff.
I want a French Hamilton T-shirt. It's clearly a Les Miserables, but it just says French Hamilton in crayon
amazing.
over Les Miserables.
Oh my
That would
gosh.
sell so much.
Not only is that a great joke, it's even funnier because I can imagine the arguments you'll have with Les Mis fans, where you just just completely straight. You'll be like, oh, you like French Hamilton?
No, it's French Hamilton.
Both
baby.
fans of both musicals will fucking hate you.
Yeah, that makes nobody happy. Well, funnily enough, apparently one person who is a genuinely big fan of Les Mis is Trump. It's like the one piece of art that he loves.
You know how when you're a kid and your parents take you to see a movie and it honestly doesn't matter what it's about or what happens just because you're like, it's a movie, it's great?
Yes.
That's what I think is happening.
My theory is like Miserables was big, like it popped off in the 80s,
Exactly.
right? And I feel like that's what cool rich people watched then. So he's got that in his wrinkled old brain where it's like, oh, This is what you see when you're a smart person. I'm a smart person, question mark.
He sided with Javert, though.
Yeah. He's like, the rich people shouldn't have been rebelled against.
Or he watched
show.
He watched the Master of the House number, and he's like, they stole from other people, and I like that. That's my Trump impression, apparently.
We're subjecting people to really
Very mobby. They stole from I would respect that, Trump.
I've never tried to do a Trump impression before, and that's what came out.
I love that we've gotten to the point with Trump impressions where they can be absolutely anything, but you know what the person is doing. It's like a Schwarzenegger impression. It doesn't have to be close to accurate. No, that's perfect. So yes, our last full question here. What unlikely Canadian city just broke a heat record this week with temperatures of 33.8 degrees Celsius?
I know this one.
I'm going to say Edmonton because it's trying to expel Daniel Smith like a fever.
That's very good.
Feed a fever, starve a Smith. Yeah, that's it.
I mean, I don't know the answer. I was just going to guess my hometown of Pickering, Canada's Millennium City, as we all know.
Why Millennium City?
Because it was the only Canadian town to become a city on January 1st, 2000. And so they call themselves Canada's Millennium City. It's the only cool thing Pickering has ever
Did
done.
they hold off until 2000?
Probably.
They were ready like a
They
full
wanted
decade
it.
before. Like, no, wait for it.
We're not a city.
Yeah.
We need something special.
We're still a township or something. Niall, what's the real answer?
I think it's Winnipeg.
It is Winnipeg.
Crazy. It's like 35 or something.
Wow.
That's worrying, right? That it's that warm in Winnipeg in May.
Everything's fine.
You would make a good minister.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm the minister of everything's fine.
As the anti-climate change Pope would say.
Send out a few Pope lackeys, calm some people down.
Mamma mia, Winnipeg.
As the Chicago Pope would say.
Winnipeg. I don't know. That's
Duh, peg.
Yes, that is exactly what he would say. All right, we got a couple of headline questions here. I'm just going to read out a headline with a blank in it. You fill in the blank. You've seen jokes. All right.
Yes, I have seen them. I have seen them with my eyes.
So, Cannes Film Festival red carpet officially bans
Gritty.
the Flyers mascot?
Yeah.
Or Phillies mascot.
Yeah.
What is he?
I don't know.
No,
Yeah, Philadelphia.
Flyers.
Flyers.
He's transcended hockey to me.
He's just a cultural icon.
Yes.
All right, Cannes has banned Gritty. Niall?
B44. So I'm just going right back to it. Eventually, the shot's going to drop.
We cannot ring that bell enough. No, you were right to do it. I support
Well,
you.
it's because of their shots at the patriarchy. The Cannes Festival did not.
And I guess genocide.
There was so much genocide at the Cannes Film Festival before this.
2024 was unfortunate.
Niall
It was an
stole my-
unfortunate festival.
Niall stole my before 4 joke. I'm stealing his genocide joke.
Excellent. Well, the real answer, the Cannes Film Festival red carpet officially banned nudity.
Oh.
Apparently, naked dresses were getting so out of hand.
Was this because of the whole Kanye and his wife thing?
I don't think they
Explain.
were a con, though.
But like they were.
But Kanye.
It's a really, I
was a
don't know,
different
it's
con.
so
It was
it's
spelled
so
K.
uncomfortable.
He seems like the kind of guy who might show up to con, so maybe I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he changed his name to C-A-N-E-S. Yay.
Well, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
started rapping about Hitler.
Oh, Kanye, bringing the room
You know
down.
you're special when the mention of who you are just can like drain a room
Yep.
from thousands of miles of where you actually are.
He has that power. All
So
right.
do I.
And our last question, our last headline question. Former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte elected mayor of his hometown while currently living in...
B44. Boom! No, sorry.
Rodrigo Duterte living in before 4. Got
I
it.
feel like I know the answer to this. Like I feel like haven't looked up the news, but I feel like
We'll come back to you in a second.
Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Yeah, that's it. No, you nailed it. Ann Arbor, Michigan.
He's going to U of M for musical theater. And
Anti-drug crusading autocrat Rodrigo Duterte going to U of M.
he's joining Star Kid. That's a very niche reference for some people listening.
Oh, they did that weird caveman musical, right?
Yeah, they also did like the Harry Potter musicals.
Oh, no.
No.
That's probably bad.
I mean, they were very big culturally.
Anyway, Rodrigo
Anyway.
Duterte is doing those for sure.
Yeah.
Claire, what's your guess?
His mind palace.
Like Sherlock?
Yeah.
He's just retreated in there.
Basically. He's not very happy right now, I don't think. Wasn't he overthrown or something?
Well, here's the thing. You're probably actually correct about the Mind Palace because he was elected mayor of his hometown while in prison in The Hague.
That's what I was going to guess.
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
Sorry, I
And he
should've-
still managed to get elected
Like in a
mayor,
landslide.
which means we knew where Luke's been for the past few weeks. He
That's
was in
what
the
he's been up
Philippines
to.
ruining democracy.
Oh, he would.
Yeah.
Honestly, if Luke is pulling like an alias on all of us, like he's doing it very well.
He's got like the Sydney
He's got the
wig.
red wig.
The red wig, yep.
Completely stands out. It's just the wig and regular clothes.
Luke, yeah.
His usual like button-down shirt kind of thing, yeah. No, that is what
He's
Luke
like,
has been
worked
up
for
to.
Jennifer Garner, it'll work for me.
That is definitely it.
Oh, but
yeah.
Jennifer Garner can make anything work.
It's true. She's
Yeah.
Well,
wonderful.
not Electra.
Yeah, but then she got to come back in the Deadpool movie as Elektra, so she won in the end, right?
Yeah.
This is a Kanye moment for me.
Jennifer Garner's your Kanye?
Yes.
I feel like that's unfair to Jennifer Carney.
I feel that's unfair to Kanye.
Okay.
Okay.
Call me when Jennifer Garner's just put out a song talking about yay Hitler.
Oh, well, you don't know about her musical vault.
There's a
That's true.
director's cut of Alias I urge you to seek out.
It's pretty grim.
It's called Jay Hitler. J.J. Abrams refused to be involved. She's like, fine, I'll do it myself.
And funnily enough, that's what Kanye is changing his name to next week. Yay Hitler.
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
Way to put a button on it. Just
Yes.
land the
Wow.
plane.
On that note, I truly didn't keep track of who got points for things. I think Niall got it. I honestly
I?
don't.
Yeah, Niall won.
Hey, you won the
exude that.
quiz.
That's why I was almost in the cabinet.
Yeah,
I look like someone who wins quizzes.
For guessing before 4 for multiple answers, you've won the quiz.
Always go before 4.
So on our outro here, Niall, why don't you tell the nice people listening where they can find you in the world?
Yes, I have 2 podcasts. One is Comedians in Dungeons Getting Dragons, which is a fun podcast where I play Dungeons and Dragons with some super hilarious comedians. And my own personal podcast, Total Annihilation, which is a good news podcast where I state that the world is not burning and I show I got the receipts, y'all.
It really is the opposite of this podcast.
That's the branding I need to do. That's what I got to say.
Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Claire, where can the nice people find you online?
You can find me on Blue Sky at Clare Blackwood and on YouTube at It's Clare Blackwood.
Excellent. I encourage you to do that. And Kat, our honored guest, where can people find you online?
They can find me on Instagram or Blue Sky at Kat Angus, and I also am the co-host of I Hate It But I Love It, a podcast on this very network that I host with Jocelyn Gaddy, who's also wonderful. We talk about movies and TV shows that we love and hate simultaneously. We've won awards for it. Jocelyn specifically has won an award for being a host of the show. I have not. I'm not bitter about it. But we would love it if you listened.
I very much hope that there's a guest award and that you win it for this.
Oh, thank you.
And for bringing up before 4 initially. Well, that has been us here on the Beaverton. Please check us out at thebeaverton.com. We got articles coming out all the time because news never stops happening. We will be back next week for the Beaverton Weekly Report. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.
The Beaverton Weekly Report is produced by Andrew Rivamy in partnership with the From Superheroes Network. Visit FromSuperheroes.com to hear more great podcasts like this.